um it- it's talking about probably your prowess in data analysis. Like I'm good, let's say you write something like I'm good with cloud computing. Okay, let's say you're a data engineer. I'm good with cloud computing and all those things. Then in the job description, what was written was that they were looking for somebody with AWS skill, are they looking for somebody with Azure, are they looking for somebody with Google Cloud programming. This non-technical person who is assessing your CV at the first instance is not trying to understand that, oh, because you are good in cloud computing, you are going to know this. No, it's just checking the number of skills that were expected, that were written in this job description. If those skills, it will check the number that you have on your CV and compare them. And maybe out of that, you only wrote SQL or Python, then you wrote visualization, not knowing that this person that probably does not know that visualization is Power BI, and they wrote Power BI as one of those skills. Then you wrote, you're good in visualization, you're good in querying data. You did not write the SQL, but they asked for SQL. So if this person is asking for SQL, Python, Power BI, spreadsheets, or maybe they emphasize Google Sheets and all those things, then you just write Power BI and you put others as querying data and the rest. What this person is seeing is 1/5. So the only thing this person saw that exists in the job description is maybe the Power BI, but it did not see you write SQL. It did not see you write Google Sheets or spreadsheets. It did not see those things. So you have to check the listed content of the job description, the things that are expected, the skills that are expected. You go back to your CV and rewrite your CV to have as much of those skills exactly written like that on your CV or resume. I know there's a debate about difference between resume and CV. Okay, so let's assume both of them are the same thing. On your resume, you are going to that particular place to write as much as possible exactly what was required of from that job description there in your resume. Now, the non-technical person is going to see that, oh, you have, okay, 3 or 4/5 of what is expected. Okay, this person can also be considered. So you can see where a lot of CVs get lost along the process because we are doing the generalist stuff. Imagine you're applying for a business lead and everything you're writing there is technical. Imagine you're applying for a data analyst role and then you write that you're a marketer in the bank as part of your experiences. Brethren and sistren, please and please, do not lie, right? I'm not saying you should lie. But what I'm saying is, instead of even portraying, if you really want to put that part, maybe because you don't have a lot of experiences to, if you really want to put that part, at least don't put that kind of term. You can use another word that makes it look like at least you interacted with data in that particular place, but not blow it out there that you were selling SIM card, and you are coming as a data analyst. How is your ability to sell helping in the data analyst job? So your job descriptions needs to your experiences needs to be looked into. All right, your experiences needs to be looked into. Okay, so that is for resumes and a couple of things, right, which would take more time, but this is one of the major mistakes that are being made. Make sure you tailor your CV to speak directly to each of the jobs you apply to, right from your executive summary down to, you could see you could see the job description saying something like the person should have like 4 years of experience and the rest. If you have that number of years, start from your executive summary, make it bold. Byron Neji with over 4 years of experience in this. That line has already ticked a mark that, okay, this person met one of those criteria. All right. So you have to be more specific. So this is the hard work. that is involved. I know that you have it stored somewhere on LinkedIn, and anytime you see your LinkedIn job, you just click apply. All right. So that needs to be done. So make sure you put the relevant things. Another thing that should be a takeaway is try to quantify your descriptions when you are explaining your job descriptions again. Try to quantify it, meaning that you should try to put numbers to it. Okay. Don't just say, not that every line should have numbers, but humans could interpret progress or success with some kind of, numerical value attached to it. Like I worked with this company, and I automated their processes and all those things. That's just a general, is like the high level stuff. That's what everybody will do. But you want to go further, explain your impact. The reason why they want to employ you is because they need a proof that you can be impactful. So they want to see it, like I worked with data sets ranging from 1,000 rows, and cleaned it and helped the company reduce their input time by 20%. I increased the efficiency of, I cut off the time usage, or the efficiency of this particular application based on this. I reduced the cognitive load of going through the data set by creating very instant visualizations that could reflect the status of the business. Those things, just add the numbers. All right, it's going to help. I saved the company some costs by using Google Sheets to process the data instead of the cloud softwares. So I saved the company some cost of about $1,200 on monthly basis. That is showing you impact. People are not ready to read a whole line of story. When they see some numerical values pasted there, they're like, wow, you actually saved them so percentage, you saved them so amount, you increased it by so level. That's what people really like. That's what triggers something in them. Everything is about emotions. So know how to carve your CV in such a way that it can trigger somebody's emotions. Don't just make it like a robot who is saying, pick me, or I know what I'm doing. All right. So that's about your resume. Okay. So let's move to the next one, which is okay, I've talked about the different ways you can get different kind of jobs you can apply to. That you shouldn't just be on the lookout for data analyst. All right, you can look at some other terms, even the financial analyst and the rest, but it doesn't have to be just be analyst. You could find yourself being a business partner. You could find yourself being something that can match data with probably the skills you've learned. So you could just look at it, just check the job description, and if you think that you don't have to know you don't have to know everything that is written in the job description, but if you see that you can at least do more than 50% of it, then take the bull by its horns. Okay, so do it. All right. We've talked also about not being generic with your CVs or your resumes. Okay. Make sure that you tailor it. It should be specific to the job that's coming. All right. So, what else have we not touched? Next thing I want to get into, because of time, is LinkedIn. Okay. So let's just do a little thing about LinkedIn. I want to ask you a question. There are a lot of things that happens on LinkedIn. What's your expression? How do you feel? Just be very sincere, right? Be very sincere. How do you feel when somebody says, oh, I got a job? How do you feel about it? Somebody says, oh, I got a job, or oh, I received so award. What's your expression? What's your feeling in the chat? The question is how. Happy for them, celebrating the person. Hap- I think some people might be lying. No? Hopeful. How did they do it? I feel encouraged. Mm, mm, mm. Happiness and oppression. Okay, truth has started coming out small, small. Pressured, inspired to know more. Thank you. I feel like I'm doing the wrong thing too. Okay, jealous. All right, so you can see that. What do you mean by am I a spoon? How far now? Okay, prosper. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So you can see what's happening here. It's mixed reaction of what's going on, right? But this is what is going on everywhere. So I'm not saying you should not post your wins, post your achievements. What I'm saying here is you might be following the crowd in doing what makes you unnoticed. Posting those achievements does not mean you are going to get a good gig. I've not really seen people saying that they won this award and because of that, somebody wants to. Now, let me tell you something about LinkedIn. It's about building trust. All right. So, and the trust comes from you being able to produce value. So, anytime, if you want to even announce your wins, announce it in such a way that it can produce value. And when I say value, everybody has this thing I call WIIFM. We FM. It's not me that calls it. I had read it some years back. I read about it some years back. We FM, WIIFM. Who knows about it? Who knows about it? WIIFM. I will just type it to the chat. WII hyphen FM. So it's like we FM. Who has heard about it? If you heard about it, what do you think? What's in it for me? Everybody, let me not generalize. Most persons wants to find out what is in it for me. So you posted your achievement. So how does that affect me? How am I going to benefit from this? So that means whatever post you are making should be something tailored to benefits for somebody, for your audience, not to oppress them, but for it to add value to them. I could say something like, "Oh, I want to share with you the after receiving this award, I did like I had to do like what do we call that when you're trying to meditate over things? I and then I these are the steps that I took that I believe can help you achieve that major goal in your life. Pam, and you bring it out, you would see the kind of engagement that will come up there. It's not all congratulations, well done. You would see people relating to that statement, people talking about it, people, you know, loving you for sharing the tips that can also make them achieve that height or attain that height that you just announced. This is you sharing your achievements, but not in a way that people might find it despising. Okay. But it's sharing it in such a way that people could get value from it. Okay. So this is one of those things. Now, let me show you this. Let's discuss. We have three categories of persons on LinkedIn. We have the CV shouters. We have the window shoppers. And then we have the U shop. Who are you among these persons? Who are you among these persons? Who do you think you are among these persons? I would explain all these things. But who do you think you are? The window shopper. The window shopper, right? Now, the thing is, majority of persons are in the CV shouters and window shoppers. All right. I should have put the window shoppers first, then the CV shouters next. Right. So these are the kind of persons we have on LinkedIn. Now, this is what the CV shouters do. Hire me. They're shouting their CV. So you hear something like, I'm skilled in Excel, SQL, Tableau, blah, 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 blah. So all they just do is to be blowing their horns, all right? Then we have the window shoppers. These people are invisible. They just read, they're Casper the Friendly Ghost. They're just there, but they're not there. They could like, react, and just get lost. Most of us are there, right? Then we have the U shopper. The U shop, these people give weekly tips, answer questions, and they have a clear profile. Now, this is the focus I would really encourage you to have if you really want to be outstanding in LinkedIn. All right. Now, how do we get there? The first thing is pick your voice. I will just run through this because this is not like an entirely LinkedIn workshop. Okay. So this is how to stand out. Choose 3 work topics and 1 personal passion topic, because a lot of persons that even post, they just keep on posting about top work. All right, just keep on posting about work, about data, about analysis. It's as if these persons are like an analytical robots. You're dealing with human beings. At least once in a while, talk about a personal passion, talk about your dog, talk about, okay, many Africans don't really talk about pets. So talk about something about, a movie, talk about, like a particular alms giving service you had to do with a group of friends. Talk about a vacation, just talk about something that has to do with passion. Don't always talk about this, but have 3 work topics that you can focus on and 1 personal passion. All right. So this will make people know in the long run that you are an authority in that field. The next thing is, many people get it wrong with their profile picture and their banner. I've seen many persons have their profile picture captured from their wedding photo. They just crop their wedding photo. Like, you can even see the flower behind it. And that's their profile picture. Some persons even frown a lot and they extend the frowning. They're not approachable from their profile picture. Like, it's like you're threatening them. Yes, what are you doing here with their face on the profile picture? Okay, so please do not do that. All right. Your banner should not just be a design or a deco at the back end. Your banner should talk about it should also have a connection to who you are, all right, to what you are doing. Okay. So at least go extra mile to give a graphic designer to design a LinkedIn banner that probably has maybe a brief of your picture and something that explains what you do. All right. So these are things that you need to look into. Now, the third aspect is that you should this is the hard work, right? Posting 3 to 5 times a week. But this is why the first one was just talk about 3 topics, 3 work topics, and 1 particular passion topic. With this, it wouldn't really be difficult, but you don't have to start by posting 3 to 5 times a week because the quality of your posts matters. So don't focus on the quantity yet. If you can post 1 good post, is better than 10 rushed posts. Okay. So at least just try to be present every week. Even though it's once a week, you can start, but do something valuable. A post that is really impactful, a post that is going to give value to people, not a post that announces who you are, but a post that helps people get value from what you do, so that people would want to really follow you because they are sure of getting some kind of things that will help them in their journey. Okay. So keep 1 post to 1 idea and make every post something people can use immediately. Okay, so let's not flog on that so much, but there is so much to talk about here. Just have this idea, make a good quality post. All right. The next thing is community. Now, this part is very underrated, but many people do not know that the magic of LinkedIn is in the comments, not even the posts. there's something called LinkedIn algorithm. LinkedIn LinkedIn calculates things based on your activities. In short, recently they added another kind of activity, right? So it helps, all right? So you need to, one of the major things is your comments. And when I say comments, I don't mean, oh, this is nice. Wow, I like it. Or they put 100. That's not, that's just, you're still like a shopper, maybe an advanced window shopper. All right. What you need to do is to is to write your comments in such a way that it looks like a mini post. Okay. Something that is going to add value to people, something that is related to what they posted, but at least let your comments give insight to what was posted. Let it talk about maybe a personal story. Don't make it so plenty, okay, of verbals. Just something crispy, something not so much, but something that is going to, you know, is going to add value. That's the main word here, value. All right. So treat each comment like a mini post. When you want to write your comments, think of it like, is this comment a good candidate to be a post later on, because that's what's going to help you in the future when you start having what do we call it, when you want to start making your 3 to 5 posts on weekly basis. Sometimes you could run out of ideas, but if you've been treating your comments well, you can go to your comments and extract one of those comments that probably attracted a lot of engagement. Like I commented on something yesterday, and right now, under that person's comment, I've received like about 30 something reactions on that particular comment. This is a comment in another person's post. Do you understand? Now that can give me an idea that this comment, I can convert it to a post because it resonates with people. So I'm not, so when I'm thinking, what am I going to post? I have like good quality comments, and I could look at them and pick the one that really got some nice engagement, and then maybe just post it like that, or probably add more flesh to it to make it a post. All right. So then we have the long game. Remember this story? This is the story of the hare and the tortoise, why the tortoise um, uh, challenged the hare that is going to win it in a race. And the hare laughed. So the hare now ran. And at the point, he was making mockery of the tortoise because the tortoise was still walking very slow. So the hare just sat down somewhere. And in the process of resting, he slept off. The tortoise continued moving slowly until it reached the finish line. Now, when people were congratulating the tortoise, that's when the loud noise woke the hare up, and he discovered he had lost the game. So it's not by how fast, it's by how well and how steady you can go ahead. All right. So consistency is greater than perfection. As much as possible, try to show up. Okay. Always try to show up. And if you can put this into action, because the main thing about everything here that we've talked about is action. It's not being so knowledgeable about it, and you're so rich in knowledge and poor in action. Okay, is how to implement this. So this is all we can handle today about your career section. Okay, so I want to strongly believe that with this, you've learned a couple of new things, and you are ready and motivated to hit it hard. And I assure you that if you continue showing up, you are going to get it. So let me just give you one last stuff, right? When you throw a dice, how many of you remember probability? You remember probability, right? You know, what is the chance of throwing these dice and getting a 2, isn't it? So you can see that when you throw the dice, you might get a 5. You throw it again, you might get a 1. You throw it, but you're looking for a 2, or let's say a 6, which is a high number. Or those that play Ludo, the game Ludo, you know how when you're looking for that 6 dots, and you throw it. Now the thing is, you can't know when you are going to get that particular 6 dots. But when you continue throwing as much as possible, there is it's not a tendency now, but there is every assurance that you will get that six. So that means to get to that goal, you need to continue showing up. You need to continue rolling that dice. That is the best way to force luck to happen. Because in one of those, even though it's 1,000 times you throw the dice, at least that particular high value you're looking for would definitely show up at some point of your throwing. Okay, so please be consistent and let perfection not hamper your progress. Okay, so thank you very much, and let's get to the Q and A. All right, where is the Q and A? Wow, how do I become outstanding? I have the qualifications and certifications. I don't seem to get opportunities. Okay, so this session is not exactly the what do you call we used to have this mentor session where we spotlight ourselves, but I'll just use my example to give you a highlight. Now have been jobless, right? At a point, have taken like risk, foolish and interesting ones, okay, but they're all culminated to where I am today and where I would be tomorrow. So, but the thing here is, with the way the things are going on in this world, the qualifications, your certifications, your skills, I'm sorry to say, are not enough. What puts the icing on the sugar, sorry, the icing on the cake is the fact that you can sell yourself, is the fact that you can be seen. As much as possible, you need to be visible. You don't know and hide it there. There's one part in in the Bible that says something like a candle cannot be put under the bed or in the bushel, right? So you are a candle, you're a light. You cannot add value when you are hiding somewhere. You need to be placed on a lampstand. Okay. So if you can't get a job giving you that position, you find yourself doing that. I started with Google Sheets, and then that was all I knew in the tech part. But I was interested in solving problems since the companies are not employing me yet. I couldn't meet up many of those job descriptions. So I went to the neighboring businesses around me and I tried to solve their problems. I automated some businesses as little as a shop, a distributor business, and did stuff with them on Google Sheet. Told them that, oh, see, if there's still your financial book, everything you've been recording about finance is gone. Excel is local. If there's still your laptop, is gone. But I'm going to do something for you that is cloud-based. So even though there's still your laptop and everything, you can have access to that. Wow, are you serious? Yes, at very little cost. Just pay me one time and I'm going to do that. And I gave a sample. Before you know, I did that. And then I kept on progressing, solving other things. And then I realized I needed to build more skills. From there, they wanted more. And I started building a dashboard. From there, I started learning some other skills, created apps with app sheets, just to automate them, taught them to use Google Form. These are different businesses. At the end of the day, I have things to talk about. I had experiences to sell, so it starts from you not having the mindset of just getting jobs, but having a mindset that problems are everywhere and money comes to those people that know how to solve a problem and how to communicate the solutions. All right. So yeah, I have an issue in my score of the project. I guess this is something that should be discussed maybe with the community, the eHub, or Fresh Decks. I feel lost in this track because where I come from so far that job posting have seen, they're looking for people with degree or even masters or experience. With my certificates here and no experience is questionable. What's your take on that? So I think the answer I just gave can even be likened to can answer this your question. All right. Experience is something you don't have to wait for a company to give you. Like I said, if you can open your mind to the problems around you, you can make that your experience. And selling it is also important. There are some of you that have done things like you've worked with your mother in her shop, and you don't think that is an experience that you can craft in your CV. No, you don't, because you are thinking of writing it as a shop. No, that is the art of selling, the art of communication. Put in the syntax, the language that means you impacted through that particular business or to that business. You don't have to tell people that it is one small kiosk that you were impacting. No, you could just write the name of your mom's business or whatever, and then you write details on how you impacted that business. You don't have to say that you sold Coca-Cola and all those things. You have to just know how to convert it to something of impact. Not lying, but saying the truth, just not in the exact language that you know it.
Okay, guys, while we wait for Byron to join back in, I think his network is giving him a bit of fluctuation. Yeah, he's frozen a bit. But while Byron is okay, he's back. Thank you, Byron.
Yeah. Where did I stop? Yeah, so I was trying to talk about the feeling lost. I was saying that one of the things that we have as a challenge is how we sell it, how we make ourselves visible. Okay. Like somebody went to the market and told somebody, you're a pronoun, you're an adjective. In short, you're a verb. And the market woman slapped this guy. What do you think happened? Now, the thing is, this same person went to another market woman and said, do you know that you're a preposition? Do you realize how adjective you are? That you are indeed a pronoun. She was blushing. Now you see how communication is key in whatever we do. The way you express it is important, to an extent more important than what you have to offer. There are a lot of people that have the jobs they are looking for, and they will probably contact you to help them get the job done because they sold themselves well, even though they didn't have the value to offer. You have the value. What you now need is how to sell it. All right. So you working for that your mother's kiosk, you can put it in a CV, but you communicate it in such a way that displays how valuable you were in a business setting. You don't have to write how you were hawking Coca-Cola or Fanta. All right. Okay. So that's communication is key. And in communication, know one thing: you are a minority. The person you are communicating to is the majority. So the same thing you should use in your LinkedIn. You don't post something to feel good. You post something with other the people that are going to listen to you or see yourself. Okay. Imagine yourself, if I was this business owner, will I like this CV? Am I going to see this CV as something that I would want to employ? Some persons will just write some things very scanty. Formatting is bad. Some you could use area black in one font up there. Then the other one is monotype cursiva. Sometimes you even go and put hobbies and put the kind of hobbies that are strange. That kind of stuff. You look at the kind of job you're applying to, and you put a hobby and you say you like sleeping. Please keep on sleeping. You don't they apply for those jobs in your dream. Like, it should remain a dream job. Some people could go. I've seen CVs, right? Okay, let's not go there, but let's talk about all this is the communication. All right. Please don't even put hobbies if you are not told to put hobbies in your resume. Okay, so I think that's George's response. Ever heard of development analyst? I am channeling my energy into social impact or community work mostly. Can I call myself a development analyst? to be very sincere, there are a lot of terminologies that I cannot memorize. So, but you could browse that and see that, if what development analyst really entails, okay? And that could help you, if it's applied to that. I've seen a lot of names, a lot of different types of analysts, okay? So the good thing is that you can describe what you are doing, and so what you're just looking for is a terminology for it. So we have AIs and stuff there. So you could just try that out. If that word is going to fit in properly, then you're good to go. Please clear the difference between resume and CV, and also ATS CV, how it works. Okay, so this is yeah, like I said, this is not like a full workshop, okay? This is not like a full workshop for resume or LinkedIn. We are trying to like squeeze things inside it. And I had also said before that we are not I'm exchanging the words, like I'm using them, together, the CV and the resume part. So, but I think I'm referring more to the resume, all right? For you who is trying to get into this field, you know, as an early and or as an entry stage, at an entry stage or beginner to intermediate stage, I think the kind of things you will need are similar in terms of the resume. So even the companies that post these things sometimes could write CV and maybe what they want is resume, or resume and maybe what they want is CV, right? So, but what you should understand is for this stage, what you're trying to present is something that shows your experiences, something that proves that you are skilled enough. If you see the particular if you see the particular job description, it can give you an understanding of how to craft what you're going to present. Sincerely, I'm not really much interested in words, terminologies. All right. I'm more interested in the value, the impact, what is needed, what is required of me. And then, I give it. Okay. So when you do some research about the kind of job, the company, you know the exact documents you need to present or how to present it. ATS is a application tracking system, right? So it's not like ATS CV is different from the word CV. Okay, it's just how will I explain that? Um, so it's just a software, all right? That's just a software, just like LMS for learning management system, ERP for enterprise resource planning. So this one is just a software that recruiters use, okay? So they use that to for the hiring process. So now that is the things I gave you as hints in terms of what to do, looking at the job description and trying to repeat some of those things in your skill set. Those are kind of things that passes through the ATS. Because like I said, the ATS is not like a data analyst or somebody that will say, okay, this person is cloud, so the person will know this. So it depends on what was programmed there in the software. So, but it is easier for the tracking system to realize that, okay, this is what is needed and this person has this. Okay, so because of the thousands of CVs and the rest, so some people use a software, pass those CVs through it, and it's kind of gives the everything is built on algorithm, right? LinkedIn, everything is built on algorithm. So if you can beat the algorithm, you're likely to get there. All right. So ATS is a different section entirely. But the thing is, this is the job description. Tailor your CV or resume to meet up the exact requirements of this job description, at least to 80% of it. Other aspects are like minor things compared to that particular one. It comes even to your executive summary, even the hobbies, the references. You don't really need to add references except you are asked to do that. You don't need to do that. You don't need to put hobbies, except it's really important or you're asked to do that. The way you format your things, the spacing, all these things are things that are being checked by the ATS because the software wants to know how serious you are, how eligible you are in different criteria. So that's it about ATS. It's just about tailoring your CV to give out the best look. There are online platforms where you can test it, right? Like you can put your CV through a particular ATS stuff. Some are free, some have trial versions. So you can put it there to check, to give you a score of your CV. So if it gives you a high score, then that's good. But that is not a very strong proof because ATS can be configured based on that particular job. So if you could have a high CV in the general ATS software, a high score in the general ATS software, but a lower score when you apply for that job because you are not putting in the keywords that were littered in the description. Okay. So to be on the safe side, try to replicate what is needed there into your CV. And that will kind of give you a higher edge. Can you give an example of a work topic a data analyst can talk about? I'm not sure I can give an example because the entire okay, the entire workflow in the data analytics track gives a lot of examples. Okay. Okay, let me try and see if I can give you an example. You could talk about messy sheets. You could talk about like you want to share a hack, something like that. You could talk about color coding. You could talk about something as simple as conditional formatting. Do you know that with conditional formatting, you can know the by the colors, you will know if there is profit or loss. Profit is red, loss is, you could talk about different. Let me tell you the truth. It will amaze you how many people don't know basic of things, right? So don't think that what you want to share is too simple to share. All right. Just what you should just think is you want to add value. Have it in mind the kind of people you want to add value to. Don't be too technical with your language. Okay, it's good you know these things, but don't be so technical. Break it down to the simplest form. Nobody's going to complain that this thing is too simple to understand, but many people can complain that this thing is too hard to understand. So as much as possible, be simple, okay, in your presentation, and don't think too deep. Just share the hacks. Share what people can use immediately. Something as simple as I learned from Shegun here how to even remove charger from my MacBook easily. Like I used to pull it out. I didn't know that you just have to tilt it up a little and take it off. So it, imagine that little simple thing. And I was I was so I kept on appreciating Shegun for giving me that knowledge. And I was going to teach people, and people were like, hey, wow. I was feeling like a boss. So you can see something as simple as that. You might think, oh, this is a walk in the park. It's not something worthy to be taught. It is. All right. So what if you don't get any engagement? Woo. Okay. So reactions is not um how will I explain this? I'm trying to this is a very interesting question, right? It's a very interesting one. So there is, and I responded to a post recently about something like that because I was trying to tell persons that um, reactions, engagement, and impact are two different things. You don't have to be you don't have to be bothered about impressions to a good degree. Okay. What's many of you claim that you are window shoppers. So imagine how many window shoppers are really coming to see your posts. Imagine how window shoppers are really coming to see your post. And then they are not reacting. And then you conclude that, oh, my post is not visible. So you can see that your impact sometimes doesn't start that way. you know Impact, people could feel love, people could feel, could be coming to steal knowledge from your page, but they are not reacting, they are not engaging with your page. All right. So that shouldn't be what you should use to define your success. All you need to do is to try to keep on improving. And the easiest way to get engagement, I'm going to tell you this for free, but this is something that I would probably put a price tag on when I'm giving people this. The easiest way to improve engagement is for you to also engage with others. You go, you if you want to, if you did marketing in any way, you realize that one of the ways of marketing is to relate with the persons. if I'm working in a bank and I want to get a restaurant owner's business to open with my bank, I'll probably go and be eating in that restaurant, whether I like the food or not. I'll keep on buying the food and praising the person. The person will have to see me, and then when I sell what I want, the person will be interested to buy because it's more like a give and take, like rub my bag, I rub yours. That's how the online community is. So sometimes you have to not think about how people are engaging with your posts and try to be actively engaging with people's posts. At some point, when those people even see your post later on, some of them would feel not good to not engage with yours as well. Okay. And engaging with other people's posts also exposes you to those people's networks because other persons would probably that will not have had access to see your own post would probably see your comments in those people's posts and then they can relate with it, come to your own profile to even know who you are and probably start connecting with you. So it's more like before you start collecting, start giving. All right. So, yeah, and do not focus on engagement that early time. Just keep on trying to add value, experiment different ways until you get it right. What strategies? Wow, these questions are lengthy. What strategies do you have for individuals looking for remote jobs? What website do you recommend, especially relevant to the African market? I think if their website also it's going to be shared maybe through your community page, but I don't have those handy because I don't really focus my energy on that part. So one of the major things that has helped me in getting some offers and the rest is more of networking, all right, than even submission of resumes or CVs. Is more of networking. And LinkedIn has been a good place. Events around me has been a good place. Everything you need to do should be about visibility. All right. So it's not about going to, I see some people going to snap themselves with like maybe the CEO of Money Point, and they're like, oh, I was with the CEO of Money Point. You know him, does he know you? So we have people like that. You need to take your networking game serious. All right. In networking, you don't just go and start selling your services. You just try to establish relationship, and along the line, you have a way to present your value. And when something comes up from any of those places, they remember you. So yeah, so that's why I can't exactly give you a list. There are a lot of them. You can even browse, and you are going to see you're going to see that. Okay. So the thing is we are going to have, I think there's another session. Is it tomorrow? I think Anibet is going to announce that. So there's going to be another session that will touch some of these things, deeper. So this is more like give you a high level of this stuff. All right. So don't worry. And you can keep on asking your questions into other platforms and we'll see how to, deliver your answers on time. Have a question on engaging to a company of your interest. What are tips on engaging with employees for visible purpose? Please do not be like a spammer. All right. Be careful when you're trying to engage with people of company of your interest. So yeah, that's the best I can say. I get irritated sometimes. I've had issues with some persons and the rest, like coming to meet me for job offers and the rest. Like it's not sinking. It does not blend. Like there is no history between both of us. That's why I said relationship is key. Just try to be consistent in little steps. And when you find an opening, you could probably bring it in. Do not just get into a company of your choice and start telling them you want a job. They already have thousands of persons that also want that job. So what makes you different from that? People could feel spammed when you're meeting them. They could block you, and that could also affect you. Imagine somebody reporting you to LinkedIn or something. So you just have to be careful about it. If you're engaging with those persons, engage with them not for the sake of opportunity in their companies. Probably engage with them for something else that requires you people to relate, or you want to learn more from the person or something like that. So that should be different, not trying to barge in and asking for opportunities. Um, I would be skipping some questions. Please I apologize because of the time. Um, cold email, I don't like that. So you need to do warm email instead. So like I said, relationship is stronger than all those cold things. So try to establish relationship from a soft ground and you get there. Yeah, that's like another session that should could be handled, but just avoid many of these cold mails. They're like they'll be considered as spams. I currently work in a bank as an outsourced staff with less pay and not even cool. I do photography professionally during the weekend only. Now I'm going to doing data. Can I tailor my LinkedIn post to these three niches or what would you suggest? Oh, this is interesting. You have very nice interest already. Photography is something that engages a lot of persons because it's something that has to do with the visual senses, as well. So humans are more emotional. So imagine you crafting this as your hobby and then talking about data as well. So you've already gotten, the strong points that you could use to engage with your audience. Yeah, so it's very cool. How do you transform yourself from a mid-level data analyst to senior level data analyst? Please, Anibet, let me know when it's due to stop because yeah, so that you could just save the time. How do you transform yourself from a mid-level? So I would just like to make this the last question to answer, please. I apologize for the rest not being answered, but you could just keep them and ask them, I think, tomorrow. So how do you transform yourself from a mid-level data analyst to a senior level analyst? What are the key stuff a senior level analyst would do differently from a junior level analyst with the same data sets? So the thing is, as you go um as you go along the ladder, like step by step, you know, as you go upwards, it will be less of technical and more of logic. Okay, so it's not going to be about the data sets. You'll be so experienced because a senior level data analyst would probably be training a lot of persons under them. Your leadership skills is important. So that's the thing. That's what you need to know. It's not just about how to crunch the data, but it's about other parts as well. Your communication level, your understanding of business problem, your logic. You need to be able to know the difference between business problem and analytical problem, how to get these things done. So as you grow in your soft skills, you are, when you add that to your hard skills, which is your tools, you are on a good journey to getting to a senior level. All right. The junior level are more about just the skills, okay, coding and all those stuff. But the senior level does beyond that because you're now getting closer to the business ESCOs, the business partners, and all those things. What they'll be discussing is not the tool, is not Power BI, is not what they'll be discussing is how can we make more profit? How can we, increase? How can we scale? So it's not technical prowess that will help you in that point. It is the soft skill, the communication, the respect, the relationship with people, the leadership skills, all those things are what would now add with your technical skills to make you a senior person. Yeah, so thank you very much. And apologies I couldn't attend to the rest of them, but they've been nice and engaging, and I hope that this session was inspiring and it's not a motivational session. It's something real for you to work on. So please take the action and best wishes. Bye.
Aha, I see the claps coming in. I see the love. I see the confettis. Oh my God, guys. I'm sure Byron is seeing this since he's no longer sharing screen. And he's touched. He's touched. It's really a wonderful session where we've come to learn, unlearn. I mean, most of you are saying anxious. I'm not, I'm feeling hopeful. Now you will feel what I'm feeling now. I'm feeling courageous. I'm feeling ready. Can you just say I'm feeling ready? Don't type it in the chat because the chat is closed for now. I'm feeling ready. Like honestly. So yes, we'll be moving on to the next session. But before we do that, I think I will have to share my screen. So guys, we can see where we are. And please, it's this time, it's this session where you are not going to be, you're not going to be spamming people, but you're going to actually make it count for you, and you are going to be doing just a little thing. It's not much work. It's not much work. So if you have your LinkedIn profiles, the chat will be opened in, let's say, a few minutes. The chat will be open. So we just advise and we'll encourage you guys to drop your LinkedIn profiles. I mean, it's going to just go for a little while, and then, we'll close the chat. But do well to drop your LinkedIn profiles and at least connect with 10 people. 10, just 10. And we see here that you are more than 10, but just at least connect with at least 10 people. I see Lavender already dropping, Wilfred. Come on, guys. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. It's not the time to snooze. It's not the time to snooze. So that when you're sharing your stories, when you are sharing what you've done, your impact will not just be for yourself, it will go across your connections. Your connections will see it, and your connections will see it, and people will actually come to reckon with you. So this is what we're encouraging you guys to do. Network on LinkedIn, and it's open. Guys, come on. I see you guys putting up. I see Dami. I see Freda. Do well to connect with at least 10 people. It's not much. We're not telling you to connect to 100. We're not telling you to collect to 50. Just 10 people. Just 10 people. And do not just press the connections and let them be among your connections. Go to them. Like, engage. You guys can do a lot. You've learned a lot about data analysis, you've learned a lot about storytelling. It's time to share your story. Oh, I was on this career readiness session, and this is what I learned. This is what happened to me. And I was with my guy chilling on the, well, do not make it boring. Do not make it feel like we are not doing anything here. We are, of course, doing a lot for you guys. So even as we keep dropping our profiles, our LinkedIn profiles in the chat section, I will be launching screen do well to learn how Sorry about that, guys. Be joining back in a bit. Yes, to the poll. So yes, do well to engage, do well to let us know how this session was for you as you see this pulse poll coming up on your screens, guys. Do well to engage, do well to engage. The few people that are saying not confident, I would want to really know what happened, but do well to engage, do well to let us know how the session was for you in its entirety. Let us have this constructive feedback that will help us, improve on further sessions, guys. I see we're still connecting. Let's keep that momentum. Let's keep that energy in connecting with other people. And like I said, do not just stop at connecting. Reach out to them on their LinkedIn DMs. Reach out to them on their LinkedIn DMs. Do not just stop at, hey, this, hey, that. Reach out to them after this session. So do well to engage on the poll. I see a few of you doing that. And I still want to admonish each and every one of us. Do not leave, do not take this poll lightly. We will love to hear your feedback. We would love to know what went well for you. Are you are you now confident about applying for that role? Are you now confident about putting in that resume, putting in that submission for that job application? Aha, guys. So yes, we'll be shutting down the poll even as we take on a few announcements. Okay. Thank you. So yes, our graduation is finally here. I mean, you guys have been on this journey for like 15 weeks, and I mean, most of you have already been asking, when is graduation? When are we getting our certificate? So guys, it's finally here, and I'm here to tell you to join us for our last session in the DA track, which is going to be next week, Friday. And yes, the details will be shared via email. So keep an eye out on your emails, and we'll see you in that session. Also, certificates will also be available after graduation, and the information concerning this will come also next week. And it's good to know that the Python tracks actually start on Monday, 29th September. So if you haven't enrolled in Python, I mean, what are you doing, guys? If you haven't enrolled in Python, do so now. And the session, I saw many questions that were like not answered. People are asking so many questions and all of that. And this is the most amazing and exciting news of all. We are having our cross program career masterclass that holds tomorrow, September 20th, and it's going to be holding by 2 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. West African time, and 5 p.m. East African time. It's optional, guys, but you wouldn't want to miss out on it. You may have troubled Byron with some of the questions, and time has not permitted us to answer detailed into those questions. But tomorrow, there will even be a demo. You guys would not want to miss out on that session. So, yes, do well to prepare, do well to charge up during the weekend, and we will see you in our Chambali. Come on, guys. So that's a wrap for it in this session. As we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're not just saying thank you. We're saying the land is greener on the side that you are. So make every moment count, guys. Thank you for showing up for this session. We see you in the next session that we're gonna have. And the last also. I love the loves. Over to you.
The grass is greener on the other side. That's what I thought before I took the ride.
Okay, guys. See you in our next session. Bye for now.